You guys, Stuart Pillow on the most targeted. Give half the person in here that wants to see my video. This is on ProBook, as all my other videos are on. Video to upload, but then when I go live, it says that they hack it and make it private, or I go live and they disappear the video. So we'll see if anybody clicks in. If nobody clicks in, then I'll just click off and delete and move about my business. I thought this would be an easier way to upload without so much hacking going on, but since this channel doesn't have hardly any viewers on it because it's hacked so bad, uh, I would at least think that my normal subscribers on Most Targeted Citizen would come here and subscribe, but I can tell that they're not being allowed to. What's up, Redneck? Thanks for being here. You might be the one and only in here. Uh, Spout, big idea. And it was, it's from her heart to do it. My birthday is tomorrow, so her idea was to take a trip to Tennessee. Out-of-state trip for anyone besides a targeted individual is a wonderful thing to do. For a targeted individual, it can be one of the most stressful, and always is one of the most stressful things to do, because when I'm outside of my environment, because I try to control as much of my life as possible. I try to control who I'm around, where I'm at. I always got an eye on the exit. I'm always having to think militarily to make sure I've got a way out, or if I have to take a stand and fight, then I've got something against my back and I can come out swinging. Unfortunately, when I'm put in situations like that, I have to work, off the cuff from the hip. So that's what brings me here today. I never knew before I realized targeting and what it was. Anytime, like me and my buddies, we'd leave on Thursday on our Harleys, we'd take off and ride 200, 250 miles a day, and made sure by Sunday we were within 200 miles of the house. That way we were wore out by Sunday, partied out, did all the fun we was going to do, and wanted to get home quick. I didn't realize then that I was being targeted. I've always had a still small, what I thought was my thoughts in my head telling me, oh, there's a funny noise on your bike. Oh, we got a flat tire. Oh, the handlebars are loose, or this, that, and the other. Constant, a million things going through my mind telling me how I'm going to wreck my bike, how I'm going to crash, how I'm going to hurt somebody else. Constantly going through my mind, and it just got to be, it was so emotionally and mindfully deteriorating me. It was taking years off my life with a constant worry. I worry every second. I'm going down the road at 80 miles an hour. You're on a motorcycle. You already got too many things to worry about without your own mind saying, oh, the back wheel's going to fall off. Ooh, is his bike going to crash into you? Just constant, until I realized that it was this problem. What's up, Miss Wise? Good to see you. I'll get with you in here a little bit, but it was just weird that I couldn't get that out of my mind until I realized I was being targeted. Then I was like, oh my God, now I know somebody is actually in my mind dicking around. So with that being said, going out of town is extremely stressful for me, and I try my best to never do it. If you guys were along for the ride when I went to Arkansas, that was one big gang stalker scenario then as well. This weekend was no different. That's why I don't like going anywhere unless I'm in control of what's happening. My spouse, because she's been abused so much in her past, and because of her pig-headed mother, she's extremely pig-headed, and she'll tell you that. She's going to do it. It doesn't matter if it hurts me or not, but she's going to do it, and she's going to claim that she did it, and no matter what happens, she's going to take responsibility for it. She's independent, and I'm telling you, that's dangerous for me. So without even consulting me ahead of time, she had mentioned, hey, let's go out of town to your church. I've got my church is in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. It's Global Vision Bible Church. You guys heard me talk about it a lot. She said, well, let's go to your church. And that sounds like a great idea for somebody that wanted to go to my church. But when all the planning is not in my hands, I don't get to plan it. I don't get to have any decision. I don't get a voice around here at all. So she told me, I've reserved the room on Saturday, and then we'll drive back Sunday night. And I'm like, church is on Sunday. She wants to leave on Saturday morning, drive 5 hours. There's 5.5 hours, 6 hours really when there's somebody other than me driving. So you're going to get the hotel room for that night, and yet we got to check out at 11 o'clock. And then what are we supposed to do all day long? Because we wanted to go to two services. They have the basic church service at 11 or 10:30 in the morning, and then a deliverance service. And you guys haven't attended a deliverance service, you need to. There's a lot of healing and a lot of casting demons out of people that desperately needed it. So I said, well, we do that. What are we going to do all day Sunday afternoon? What are we going to do? And she didn't think this through. So we arrived there. When we get there, she rushed me to get there by 3 o'clock. She said, we got to get there before 3. We got to get there before 3. I was like, no, check-in time's at 3. If we get there before, there's nowhere to go. No. If we don't get there by 3 o'clock, they're going to sell our room. I said, that's not how hotel rooms work. You have to check out. 11 o'clock's the latest you can be out, or they're going to throw you out. And 3 o'clock's the earliest you can be there. She didn't listen. So we get there at 12:30. It is 85 to 90 degrees in Tennessee. We don't know where we're at. We don't know where to go. There's no place to go because there was no pre-planning. So here we are. She's already got this hotel room. Supposedly it's the only one left in town. They wouldn't let us check in. So Stu was right again. So here we are sitting in a rented minivan because she rented a car too, because we don't have a car that's dependable enough with all the gang stalking. I've got more on that, more stalking, more vandalism to her and my vehicle. But here we are sitting in a vehicle Saturday for 3 hours in a 90-degree heat and nowhere to go. We finally get in the room, and when we get in the room, it hasn't even been cleaned. They made the beds, but here's another man's underwear and socks in the drawer. So that wasn't good. From the time we checked in till 3 o'clock in the morning, it sounded like there was a 1,000-pounder in the room above me stomping back and forth. I've been involved. I've been in this gang stalking program my whole life. So I listen to enough of my friends that are being gang stalked as well, that talk about living in an apartment or in a duplex or somewhere where somebody's above them stomping back and forth. And I knew right then and there, the first time it happened, I said, oh my God, this is going to be it. And let me tell you guys what happens. With me, they use remote neural monitoring on me. So they can implant thoughts, implant feelings, sounds, noises, anything, voices, manipulate my thoughts. So the whole time, we're only on the second floor, but they can manipulate my equilibrium where it feels like I can feel the building moving back and forth. Constantly in my head, oh, the building's going to crash. And that just sounds so dumb. Well, telling me that the building's going to crash, that's not going to bother me. Well, once you've been hit with so many weapons for so long, it starts to break you down. And I'll be the first one to admit that they have done major damage to my senses. So when they tell me, because I've seen them do things like cars blow up and buildings collapse, I've seen so much of this. They're in my head telling me this is going to happen. This is going to happen. So here, this thought, this constant, because my PTSD, because of this program, is just pinging off the walls. And that person did not stop stomping. See, they're already triggered me so hard right now. That didn't stop stomping until I called the front desk, where of course no one was at. We tried to complain about the dirty room. We tried to complain about everything else. No help whatsoever. So finally, 3 o'clock in the morning, I get up and I'm pissed. I almost went upstairs and drugged that person out of the room. That's how far out of control I was emotionally because of what was going on. Because when I go out of town, I have my safe place. I don't have a safe place to be. I can't control my environment when I'm somewhere I don't know where I'm at. So she decides Sunday morning that she wanted to stay in that hotel again. I said, wait a second. We've already spent too much money on a car in a hotel room, and now you want to spend the night again. But if you spend the night again, if you want a new room, they're going to make us wait till 3 o'clock again. And of course, she argued with me because she's an independent woman. We get out of church. When we go into church, she's on the phone trying to talk to the people at the hotel, telling them what's going on. Trying to tell them, hey, the room was dirty. Hey, they wouldn't let us check in. Hey, this, that, and the other, complaining all this. And still yet, she went and reserved the room again. And what did they tell us again? You got to sit in your car for 3 more hours and wait for us to open the room. So, needless to say, Saturday and Sunday, my birthday vacation, 6 hours away from my home, was spent in the front seat of a rented black minivan. That's not my idea of fun. the church service. I love my pastor, I love my church, but they just don't really know what they're doing when it comes to all the property. The deliverance service was out of this world. I mean, people were getting delivered of. I mean, there was people puking and gagging and coughing and falling out. I mean, they were casting the devils out of people, and I was really hoping that something could help me. But as I tell you guys, it's technology which is affecting me. I think that my spouse and son got some help. I didn't want to pay attention to them. I wanted to focus on what I was doing. I just kept my eyes forward and let people minister to them, and I stayed straight to what I was trying to do. So a lot of people got deliverance. Thank God for that. But needless to say, very stressful being out of my element, being out of town, not being able to control my environment. That is so imperative for a targeted individual to be able to do, and it's impossible for me to do with a person that will not listen to a word I say. She's made an effort to try to do better, and she's doing some. I guess nobody's perfect in a relationship, but I'm doing the best I can to just to hold on tight and bide my time. So that's how that went. Of course, my job was to drive back last night. We didn't leave till 9:45 last night because, as she said, Mason had to go to school today. We had to go to doctor's appointments today, so rented a hotel room for 2 days and didn't even really get to enjoy it at all. So as soon as I start driving home last night, and I'm doing 100 miles an hour because that's what I do. I drive. I'm on a mission to get home. And they hit me so hard to put me to sleep. I fell asleep 3 times driving. I said, nope, can't do it anymore. Pulled off the side of the road. She drove the rest of the way, and thank God we made it. So that's the extent of that weekend. Like I said, I'm sitting there trying to tell her and explain, honey, I appreciate the gesture of wanting to take me out of town to my church. I appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. But the main goal right now is, if you guys didn't know, we had a blood moon this weekend, and there was a lunar eclipse. One of my friends asked me about, and I never got the message. But these are all biblical signs of the end. The blood moon, the biblical, all this stuff is biblical that's happening. I'm in a hurry. So in my mind, all the money spent on that vacation that I didn't get to enjoy because I don't like going to a hotel. I don't like watching TV at a hotel. I'm not comfortable there. I like my YouTube because I can pick what I can see when I want to relax. So needless to say, that was a big waste of time. And today they've hit me so hard. I couldn't. If you're here and you're asking questions about the houseboat, feel free to leave your questions, and then I'll answer any questions that you've got. I seen a question from somebody about how am I going to get the houseboat to the water? Well, I'm going to, and then take them back apart, and then I'll be hauling everything to the lake. That's the first thing. Everything will be assembled at the lake. So I'll get it there, put it all together. I haven't determined yet if I'm going to build the houseboat on the pontoons on the bank, or I'm going to build it on the water. So that's yet to be seen. So all the people that's tuning in for houseboats updates, that's all I got for you. Today was a washout. I didn't get anything done today, but like I said, if you got any questions about the houseboat, I'd more than willing to ask you or to answer you. I appreciate people finally kind of getting an idea of what I'm showing here. All I'm doing is I'm building a big flat raft, and I'm putting a metal building on it. That's just how simple it is. I'm not going to overthink it. That's just the way I'm going to do it. The only thing different between this and anything else is just my materials for my flotation. These totes are the only thing different than any other kind of flotation, like the black ones they sell at Home Depot or at Lowe's. So that's the only real difference there. So that's my plan. Hopefully tomorrow I can get up and get moving. They've done something here. Something's changed here at home. The weapons are so much stronger. So they probably, because they had time to come in the house and renew whatever tech they have in my home. I don't know, but I've had that spirit of heaviness again today on me so heavy I couldn't even hardly move. As soon as I got home, I was just ruined all day long. They've taken away all my motivation. I had everything set up perfectly until we left and went out of town. Now I come back, I can't get anything done. And thank nobody, but now the mosquitoes out, so now I'll be fighting mosquitoes out here, which is going to be twice the amount of heat, it's going to be twice the amount of sweat, going to be twice as many bugs. It's a nightmare scenario for building anything outdoors. So here we go. Redneck Dad says, how are you going to get the pontoons with the building on the lake? As I said, I'm going to assemble everything. I've checked for my bolts. I found the bolts, but the bolts are $3.98 a piece. just for bolts to bolt these pontoons together end to end. I'll be assembling here. Then I'll disassemble them, put them on trailers, take them down to the lake. I'm going to build the bottom of the pontoon, the actual float part itself. I'm going to build that on the bank. I'm going to line it up. I'm going to pull my strings, get it all squared up, and then I'm going to get my 2x12s out and start building the framing to connect everything together. As I said, these pontoons will be doubled up, one on the outside, one on the inside. That'll be two on both outsides. So I'll build that pontoon, get all that done after I build the framing. The framing is going to connect them. Then I come in and fill in the pontoons with I'll be putting the barrels in. After I get the frame built, then I'll be putting the totes in. It'll be 2 rows, one on the left, one on the right for that. More than likely, then I'll build the building and then pick it up and put it on here and bolt it all down. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to do regardless of what I do. But I'm going to get the platform done. I've got a huge, massive tarp and a bunch of plastic. That way, if I build the platform, get all the plywood on it, because I'm looking at a $1,500 expense. So that's going to be hard. That's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of money just for plywood to lay down. I've got 15 sheets of building, and I've probably got, I think, 20 more sheets to purchase. So 20 times $80 a piece. I'm looking at $1,500, $1,600 more worth of just plywood alone. So getting the frame built, it'll probably take me, because if I can't help me, and nobody wants vacations being hacked, because I'm sure that's what it is. But if I could pay somebody, cash money to come help me by the hour, all they got to do is listen to me and drive nails or drive screws. That's it. But I'm pretty much on my own, which I knew I was going to be. So once I get it to the lake, build the pontoon first. I get all that done, I'll determine then. I'm going to push it in the water with a tractor, or I'm going to go ahead and put the building on it and then bolt it all down. But I got to get the pontoon itself set, and then I got to put the flooring down, and then the building goes over top of the flooring. I will not have any insulation on the floor. That's just the way it goes. I don't have the money for it. I don't foresee, because most of these floats are going to be full of styrofoam. So that's going to be some sort of insulation. I wish I could buy the foam board and put on the floor, but I just can't do it at this time. I'll have to come in later and probably fill all the pontoons full of foam. I'm in a hurry now. Time is running out for this project for me. So that's the update on that. I got to do a lot of drilling on my frame. I got to drill it all out to put my Romex in the walls. So I've got my electrical run. The flooring is scary. That's a whole lot of flooring to do, and then have to cover it up, because if plywood gets wet, it has formaldehyde in it. They use formaldehyde when they pressure treat anything, either your flooring or your 2x4s. If that stuff gets wet and then it starts to dry out, the formaldehyde starts to leach into the air, and I don't want a houseboat that's leaching formaldehyde. So once I get it built, then I got to cover it up. And remember, being a targeted individual, things just walk off from my house in the middle of the city. Imagine down at the lake on a piece of property that isn't mine, a stranger's house, that I'm going to have my materials at, that somebody could just walk up to, gang stalkers, more than likely walk up to, grab my stuff, and walk off. So more than likely, I'll have to pitch a tent down there at the lake and hope and pray that nobody steals or vandalizes what I have. So that's the update. If you guys got any other questions, hit me with it. Thank you to the 6 or 7, what's 10 people in here that ask. I know I don't want to hear about the targeting, but that's my life. That's my life. This project, I wouldn't have to do any of this. Just imagine, guys, the money I've spent on all this. I could have enjoyed life. I could have fixed one of my Harleys that was stolen and destroyed. I could have done it. I could have bought a million projects and turned around and flipped them. But this is my survival. If I don't get to the lake soon, I fear that I'm not going to make it. I don't think that my body, I'm physically going to make it much longer unless I make a change in my situation. They hit me so hard with directed energy weapons. You don't have to believe it. I appreciate you being here and entering me and not attacking me for it, but it's real. What's going on? If you don't see the change in the environments, then you're just ignoring it. You're ignoring what's happening. So hopefully tomorrow, I pray tomorrow I can get up and get moving. My number one goal is and I always do, I try to put off, because I'm so tight with money now, because I have to be. I go from making $250,000 a year to making nothing. So that's a huge it's fear. It's absolute fear. So I'm probably gonna have to go tomorrow, make the investment on paying $4 for one bolt. So that's what it is. That's what I have to do. How long to reassemble at the lake do you estimate? Uh, said I'm doing it all by hand, doing it all by myself. I literally, to move these pontoons around the backyard, I took fence posts, round fence poles, laid them down, and pushed these across the yard because these things are probably anywhere to 300 to 500 pounds a piece, and I'm having to push them up this long hill all by myself. I don't foresee anybody helping me, so I'll have to do the same thing on the lake. Hopefully, it'll be a level spot that I'll be working at. Hopefully, maybe I can get somebody down there to let me use their tractor. Now I have to rent a tractor. That's $200 a day to rent a tractor, and if I don't have everything right there ready to rock and roll, I'm going to lose time on it. So what I'll probably have to do is, there's little termites, the little yellow ones that's got a backhoe and a little loader. They won't pick up much, but the backhoe's pretty useful for moving stuff around. So more than likely, I have to rent a termite on like a Friday and keep it all weekend long, and use it to pick up, move the stuff where I need it, because I'm gonna have to haul cinder blocks down there because I got to get everything level and then get them bolted together and make sure everything's completely square. And that one pontoon is so bad out of shape, I don't know if I'm just gonna scrap it out and use what I can of it and build a new one. I don't know, but it's going to cost now, as high as lumber is now, it's going to be another $250 to build a new pontoon. And I probably got 100 screws in that thing and probably 50 nails, and I know at least 30 carriage bolts. So tearing that thing apart is going to be 4 hours of labor. So if I can get all the materials to the lake, get it all lined up, I think I can probably have the pontoons laid out where they're supposed to go at, and the outer frame, the big square, I think I can have all that done in about 6 hours. I could probably go quicker. It may take a lot longer. I just don't know, but I'm thinking 6 hours. If I've got a termite, because I'm a wizard on a tractor. If I've got a termite, I can push these things in position, put them end to end, run the carriage, because the only bolts that I found that are reasonable are carriage bolts, and I guess I could weld them to the plate, but they don't have any anti-corrosive coating on them, and they're not grade 8. I want grade 8 bolts to be able to, to hold tight. So if I had a tractor here, it would be so much easier. Yep, Tommy, that's a lot of work. I mean, I know because you haven't seen it consecutive, and I can't record myself doing this because I'm hacked so much, but if you guys saw how hard I work doing this stuff, you would be shocked that one man can do it. And I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying, when somebody says, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and then I come back and I show you, hey, it's done, look at it, you don't see how much goes into it. I mean, I literally am wrestling these things. You pick up just a 2x12 by 16, you just pick one of those up and carry it across the yard. That's work. But having to pick it up, hold it, take a drill and screw them together, and come back through and do all the nailing, and then have to take the totes, put them in their level, compress them together, drill them in, and then screw them, set them, and then drill it back out with a long drill bit, and then put the carriage bolts, and then run the carriage bolts up and then tie, and then come back through and cut the excess off the carriage bolt. I mean, building those pontoons, that was work. That was work. I think if I remember, it took me like a day and a half for each one. That's probably a total of 5 hours, but I work as much as I can until they hit me so hard or it's too hot, and now it's summertime. We're here. Tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm not happy about it. 47 years old. I'll be 47 years old, and I'm not happy about it. I've owned 3 houses, been gang stalked out of every one of them, and here I am trying to build a houseboat to run away to the lake, and I can't get one soul on the planet to help. I think that's the hardest thing in this program is realizing how absolutely alone you really are on this planet. But like I said, I've offered it, and nobody wants to help. Thank you, Tommy, for the birthday. Thank you. Still no hiding her hair. And at the same time, I'm trying to get the houseboat built. I still got to go back to the courthouse, file paperwork to try to sue a second time for my motorcycles. I still got to do that. I still got to go to court for body cam. I got everything on top of me all at one time, and I can't. And I'm just in the middle, not knowing which way to go. I need to go to the junkyard and buy a little bit of floorboard for my Bronco so I can get it put back together again, so I can have that to be reliable, drag everything to the lake. They vandalized Tina's car, so now not only they knocked a hole in her radiator, so I've been trying to just work with that. but now they've zapped her stereo. It's amazing that right before the trip on Friday, her radio just magically quits working. Of all the things that they could have done, the radio just working in that car. And now my Ranger, they've done something to my Ranger where it's good chance the transmission could probably go out any day. So it's just on and on and on. Another thing, houseboat wise, I've got to build all the frames for the windows. I got to build them secondarily. So in other words, once I get the houseboat built and get it covered, everything then it's going to be a load off my mind. But I've got to get it built. I got to put insulation in the roof. If not, that thing's going to be a microwave oven. So I got to get the insulation in the roof. Then I got to come through and start building all the frames for the window. That means wood to metal, unless I build the frames out of complete metal and weld them on. And that's going to be a huge undertaking in itself. So I'm trying to build a house by myself. I'm literally doing a project that seems impossible on paper. It may be absolutely impossible. I may fail miserably, but I'm desperate. I don't know what else to do. Everybody else has an idea here and how vehicle. It never works. I've quit or been fired from every job I've ever worked at in my life because I get gang stalked out of every job I've ever had. And it wasn't because I was a bad employee. I was the best employee, but they always find a way to push me out anywhere. So that's the update. See, you guys are dropping off. So I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. Please hit that thumbs up button. Please. YouTube censored me, took me off my other channel again, said for medical disinformation. But amazingly enough, that was from a video 9 months ago. So because I'm getting ready to have my birthday, because I'm getting ready to make progress to show you guys how the houseboat's going, because of all that, they silenced me on that channel. So I couldn't get the views over there. So, and here's, just like I told you, when I quit posting on the Most Targeted Citizen channel, when I quit posting there, now I've gained like 7 subscribers in 1 day's time. It went a month and a half on 609 subscribers. But I quit posting for 3 days, and now the algorithm has finally let people view those videos now. Just like I said, that's how it works. So, guys, please pray for me. Please pray for me tomorrow that I'm able to get up and get busy. I got to get this done. I got to get it done. Like I said, there's a couple people inquired about the campers. Just come talk to me. Email me. I'll give you information on the campers because they both got to go. Either I'm going to build a truck out of one of them or I'm going to sell them, but they got to go. If I can sell them, somebody just gives me a deposit on it, then I can use that money to finish my houseboat, and then somebody can come get them. That one's being used for storage, and then that one right there's got storage in them. So they have a purpose right now, but if I can get rid of them, all the better. If I have to, I'll go get a storage building, put all the building materials, but they're full of building materials. One's full of hardwood flooring, the other one's full of insulation. So 40,000 mile on the 400 small block to 78, it runs like a champ. And then the 91 Ford, it's got a 460 fuel injected. It's got 52,000 original miles on it, and they're just awesome vehicles. If you're looking for an RV, it's the worst idea in the world. If they're going to vandalize your car when you're in an apartment, don't you think they're going to vandalize your RV? And what's the worst thing of doing is being in an RV on the side of the interstate broke down where they can impound your RV at a storage lot, charge you a bunch of money. Because here's the facts. 20 years ago, having an RV made sense because you could go rent a camping spot somewhere for a couple bucks a month. Now, to rent a space in an RV park, you're looking at anywhere from minimum $500 to $800 a month, and that's on the low end. And your RV can't be more than 10 years old. So they regulate everything. So an RV and a targeted individual is a bad idea. I'm telling you that. Listen to me when I tell you that's a bad idea. If that's the only option you have, great. Do it. There are a lot of targeted individuals that's been homeless for years and lived in their vehicles. That's fine, but that's hard work. That's hard work, constantly being on the move, constantly trying to protect what you have. Look at me. I'm in the city, a block from the police department, cameras all around, and they still walk in my yard and destroy anything they want to. So, as I said, I'm people that stayed out. Thank you so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. This is Targeted Citizen 3. Like, share, and subscribe. Most Targeted Citizens is my main channel. Please go there. Like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up, please. I love you. Jesus loves you. Pray for me. Pray for my family. Pray for your purpose. I always pray in Jesus' name. I'm Stuart Pidlaw. I'm the most targeted individual.